Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. They run the counter now on first down. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
And with that run, he's already at 100 yards here before halftime. So if he sees the same kind of action in the second half, he could be on his way to a career game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle.
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. A 5-yard touchdown run. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
We know that the big guys won't get the credit, Brandon, but we also know that that touchdown belongs to them. Excellent job of clearing the way for their running back.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
They'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. And they'll start this drive with very good field position.
Let's go.
And they give this time to the tailback. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. And the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop him on 3rd down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 6. 16. Now on 4th down, out comes the field goal unit here. From the right hash, this from 33. And his kick is good. And their lead will swell up to 28. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point, so no problems converting there.
And the kickoff sails out of bounds, and that's going to be a penalty.
You can see the looks on the faces of the rest of the team. You have one job to do. Just kick the ball and play.
Well, that's exactly right, Charles. The kicker, this is just inexcusable.
Absolutely inexcusable. Everyone out there slugging it out for the entire game. Execute your job.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
This is taken at the 18. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. Officially a minute 54 to go in this first half. We'll come back on Super Bowl Sunday after this.
Here we go.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. A handoff as they run the counter play. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Let's go.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So a 3rd and 10, and defensively a dime look, 6 DBs.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll set up to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball. But one thing's for sure, they're still taking their shots downfield, even with a big lead.
I think it's way too early to go into a shell, so I like what they're doing. Continue to take your shots. Continue to be aggressive. It's not their job to slow themselves down.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. That's pulled in at the 32. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things? He's got it at the 15. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there. 61 yards. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Shift together here from the D-line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that one is incomplete. He just dropped it. But they're up big on the scoreboard, so maybe he can chuckle about later.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Here we go. Detroit!
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A huge loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a second and forever. And he'll give it here to his running back. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and very long. They'll set up a throw. Going up top. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 38.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they get him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And this one is right down the middle. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And now back out comes the offense. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. I know when I joke about you guys skipping halftime, sometimes you get frustrated, but this is the Super Bowl. You got to watch the halftime show of the Super Bowl. All right, let's get you to the 3rd quarter. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
This is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll look to throw here. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It's a gain of 7, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Let's go.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Here comes the D swarming to the line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
That's a 1st down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a 4th down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, pass the sticks, 1st down. And his kick is right there. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone.
Let's just call that play exactly what it is. Needed, because they wanted to get back in the game.
They'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. 2nd down now after the incompletion. Ooh, the juke. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a 1st.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was...
And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great play there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Dolphins are able to draw a bit closer.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on 4th down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. It'll be a 2-yard gain. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on 1st down.
Here we go. Green 39.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call. And
you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Let's go. Blue Lightning. Blue Lightning.
Now a handoff looking right. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. The offense on 3rd down tonight, it's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Fresh set of downs here. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Now here on EA Sports. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series. Again.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Here we go.
Side complete. It's Jordan. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to fourth down. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a two-score game. And now before they run this fourth down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 26, 30, past the 20. They will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Dolphins touchdown. So they go on, not get it. It turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento.
Here we go
What you really want to be is Moderado. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key third down.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. And he goes down.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Incomplete.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and reacted to the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's caught inside the 35. And that goes as a gain of 37 on third down. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gain, they can run that play on any down.
And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. The offense certainly looking to score some points, but they also need ball security here late as we get down to the final moments of this one. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. Time for a break. We're back to perhaps crown a champion after this. For play number 7 of the drive.
Here we go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
Let's go. 3-19.
Back to throw. Flush to his right. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Now this offense ready to head back out there. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time,
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect.
Let's go.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 17.
Hurry up, here we go. All right, now, look at 56.
He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the 4th.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run.
No. Check. Patriot. Detroit.
They'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you describe that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Oh, wow, I thought you were going to go on the field, but okay, I see you. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as well. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It's a gain of 24 that time. And it's good enough for a first down. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. And now this game's going to come down to the right leg of their kicker. This undoubtedly the biggest kick of his life. And now they're not going to get the kick off in time. And that will make this a more difficult prospect. That's going to set him back 5 yards. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. This undoubtedly the biggest kick of his life. And this one is right down Broadway. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. That might just have been the most pressure-filled kick in Super Bowl history, but he stepped up, knocked it through just like it was a Tuesday practice in July.
And if it's not the most pressure-filled, it's certainly right among them. A title on the line, and he comes through. Nails.